West Lane contracts it out, and then let's say you want to have a program for the, historical society. Let me use a different example. Sorry, I couldn't
It's
resist.
taking away my Wi-Fi, no, he's not doing
You would just schedule it, and then it would have to get approved, and, there are parameters, like we can't use, like commercial opportunities, we can't sell spots, and things that we have to comply with, regulatory with cable, and then once it's approved, then, you could set up a regular routine if you want to do
I
that.
was just wondering if there was gonna be somebody, like you said, staff on hand, or, they there all the time.
We'll look at both options. I don't think we have those answers just yet. Again, we're kind of in the infant stages of the financing right now.
And I just put up there because we'll be talking about the clerk's budget a little bit, but in her budget is the revenue sources, and as you can see, we actually this year we're estimating $221,000 for PEG fees, and then with the addition of Comcast going in, kind of like on a full year, because this has a half year of Comcast, for a full year, we're estimating to get PEG fees about $300,000.
Can you explain the fees? Like,
So, well, basically, the three cable providers, we charge them franchise fees, and part of the franchise fees is a PEG fee. So, basically,
Jason, what's a PEG, public education grant? Is that what it is, or public education
something.
something?
I forgot the G, but it's
Yeah.
something. But basically,
Government.
what it is both the franchise and the PEG fees are all based on percentages of the cable company's gross revenue. Obviously, the franchise fees is a higher percentage, and I don't know if there's a standard, I forget, but the PEG fees are a much lesser percent. I don't think it can go any more than 2%. So you see them range from 0 to 2%. I forget exactly what Comcast was. That was just negotiated, but I believe like WOW is 1%, and AT&T is around the 1% as well, 2% for exactly what the percentages are. So. But that's the difference. They're usually a percentage of revenue based on, and they give it to us on a quarterly basis. They give us a big sheet with all their gross revenues, and then they calculate it out and they give us a check, and that's deposited to the fund. So.
But those PEG fees that are captured are supposed to be used for specific purposes related to the public broadcast.
Correct. Okay, so we'll go back to when it's our time. So, but that's where the revenue's at. So if anybody was estimating that. So that's all the capital outlay, and a lot of stuff in the comments area, and then.
Jason, do they get those sheets?
Yep. They have access to these.
What was the other big one, Jeff? The other park maintenance?
Yeah, park and ground maintenance, parks maintenance.
Which is.
Not goose control, but we have that too.
Oh, yeah, leave him alone.
Gary Coyote, that's how that works.
It helps it.
We have a coyote.
Yeah, it's all your house, by your house.
Well, we have a coyote at work, and our goons are,
Really?
yeah, we saw the coyote today.
So yeah, that's the other one.
Out there today.
Go down, Jay, is that, what's that total? Yeah, I thought there was one bigger than that, but maybe not.
No, there is. That's the next
Okay.
one.
So these are all the maintenance, miscellaneous maintenance supplies, these are actually the,
Like I said, this is, like
Yeah,
I said,
actually, yeah.
janitorial
Yeah.
services, miscellaneous, and then here's the. Yeah, these are, like I said, these are what we would consider like the building repairs and maintenance. The other ones were like the surrounding areas, like the landscaping parts around the building, sites around the building.
a lot of that is contractual too, right? Like the boiler, the fire extinguisher, inspection, suppression, generator is elevator, that stuff you have to have done every so often, so a lot of that is contractual.
So that's the other larger item in the fund.
Yep. Those are the big three, park maintenance, that one, and TDA.
Okay, and again, just looking at page 52 of the document, just again, it's its own fund, so you got fund balance to address, and the fund balance is at the end of next year is estimated to be $315,000, which is about 8.4%, which is which is a pretty decent decent fund balance for this type of fund, so. Any other questions for Jeff on building and grounds? If not, then let's go to general fund. Jeff, it's up to you. You want to do senior center, TSX, or
Either
the Parks and
one,
Rec?
start at the beginning and we'll go through it.
All right, if we start at the beginning, then we'll go to senior center, which is on page 38.
Okay. So the revenue sources are pretty simple there. Senior banquet rental, they do more than that in rent, but since golf does all the coordination, opening, closing, cleaning up afterwards, they get a percentage of the rental. Golf books the difference, meaning Meadows. The next line is our SMART grant. That's, of course, generated from SMART every year. We participate in SMART, and they give us funding every year. We get a letter of how much SMART's going to give us. And the SMART busing pays for the bus drivers, pays for the bus repair, pays for the gas and oil. So it is the huge funding source. And then other senior center revenue, and those are, I can't speak to that exactly, but I do have a sheet for that, so let me figure it out. What's on there?
Jeff, I got it up on his
Oh,
sheet.
okay.
It's like, it's trip fees that
Yeah.
members pay.
Yeah,
and-
we try to stay out of that
Donations.
business. We've partnered with the Friends of the Senior Center, and the 501c3 does most of their trips and most of their activities. We found that we were booking all these things and selling tickets, and people weren't buying or weren't coming. So we said, you know what, let's get out of that business, let the Friends of the Senior Center do it. So they collect the fees, they pay the bills. And so we still might have some things that we leave in there that we sponsor as the Senior Center proper, and that would be some of the revenue from some of those events.
So revenue, again, just a small increase from,
And that has to do all with SMART.
and then again, the SMART grants offset by these expenses. I've highlighted it here because these are all SMART grant expenses.
So we take the SMART grant monies, the revenue, and zero it out with the SMART grant expenses.
Yep. So here is personal services, so a little bit different format, Justice Department, but here is the personal services, you have SMART grant funded, and then you have the administration funded.
I do it that way because it's easier for me to budget and it's easier for me to see it. I like it in that format. It doesn't mean everybody likes it, but for me it's easier. And it's acceptable as long as it ties up with Jason hands on his sheet, so.
That's about it. If you add up all these, you'll notice that you're not exactly 164,000 because there is another line item underneath, let's say Parks and Rec special events, which we'll get to, because of transportation. So that's the other offset in the expense. So it's a net in and out, it's not all in the senior center area, there's some in the special Parks and Rec department, or some department because of transportation, to some city events.
Special ed kids.
Yeah, and Parks and Rec. Different events. If we take them to the zoo, if we're in our parks program,
Yep.
we help out a little bit with the Junior League World Series, taking them to the airport, taking them wherever, so we use, and it's all, Lori's investigated, it's all applies, so recreation applies to that. We just have to be careful, and we work with all the groups to let them know how much, because we can't exceed our reimbursement, so as long as we budget accordingly and